update video on some things I've been working on. Anybody who's ridden these old sleds before knows that the tracks on them, especially if they're the original track, don't really have traction. Like once you hit hard pack or anything, you're just spinning and spinning. So I wanted to find studs, and I looked up the price of studs for snowmobile tracks, and it's more than $0. So I figured I'm not doing that. But I work in a grain elevator, and these guys right here are the bolts that we use to put cups on the elevator belting to bring the grain up. And the unique part about these is they're flat on the back, and they have these little teeth to dig into the belt when you put your washer and your nut on there. So they dig into the belt so they can't move. Well, I figured this is basically the same thing, right? It's just a rubber belt. So what I've done is drilled some holes in the track, threw those in there, and then cut them off a little bit because they were sticking out, you know, to here, and I didn't want to just be riding on the studs. I figured that'd be a little harder on things. But I just had like one in here, one in here, one in here, and then I rode it around for a little while, and none of them tore out, and it didn't, like, this track is already in really rough shape. It's, you know, 50 years old, so I figured I'll try this. Worst case scenario, it gives me an excuse to get a new track on this thing, or at least track down a better one. But it held up, so I decided to just put 2 in every other one, and it seems to be working pretty good. So I haven't seen anything else like that on YouTube or yeah, anywhere really. So I figured I would share it so that maybe somebody else could take inspiration from it, because it does work. Like, it just gives you that little extra bite on ice or whatever. This sled wasn't here the last time, off tangent, but this one's my grandpa's. It's a 71, I believe, Olympic 300. Cool little machine. It needed a ignition coil. It was really confusing because it had really good spark when you took the plug out and tested it just on the cylinder, but as soon as you put that plug back in, no go. So the coil was just weak, but you can buy these coils new still. So yeah, that's it. Grain leg hardware. If you live somewhere close to a grain elevator and need track studs for your old Skidoo, maybe go down and ask them if they have bags of these laying around, because I bet you they do. 100 pack, 100 pack, 100 pack. I don't know how many I used total. Maybe, I don't know, 50 or more. These tracks are pretty short, and it doesn't take long, right? You just take your drill bit, pop holes in the track, throw them in, torque them down. Yeah.